what is the first thing that comes to your mind when I say the word cheerleader or cheerleading? You don't have to say it out loud, I just want you to think about it for a second. Most of the times, people don't consider cheerleading to be a sport, and people often stereotype it as cheerleaders being stupid, dumb, snobby, just look perfect and sit on the sidelines. Well, I've been a cheerleader, and I'm here to tell you that that's really not what cheerleading is about at all. I cheered in 8th grade on JV and in 10th grade on varsity. So I'm going to give you a little bit of insight into what really goes on and to persuade you about why cheerleading is a sport. Most of the times when you think about a sport, you think of football, baseball, basketball, and you just kind of forget about cheerleading. But when you take the actual definition of sport, you see why cheerleading really is a sport. So sport is defined as an activity involving physical exertion and skill, in which an individual or team competes against others for entertainment. Cheerleading checks all of these requirements. Cheerleaders spend hours every day practicing to make sure that their routines are perfect. They do jumps, gymnastics, dances, anything like that. Gymnastics is the main part of cheerleading, whether it's tumbling, stunts, or jumps. Jumps require a lot of flexibility to do a toe touch, a hurdler, a high key, or a pike. And in order to get your jumps higher, there are exercises that we do daily. And tumbling requires strength, endurance, and flexibility as well. I'm going to show you a short video of some tumbling classes so you know how much energy it takes to do tumbling. So my tumbling never looked like that, but you can just tell how much strength that took to be able to complete that without falling on your face. So the next thing that cheerleaders often do are stunts. Stunts require 2 bases, a flyer, and a back spot. So it's the bases and the back spots drop to hold the flyer up in the air and even lift them over your head and hold them up. And from above your head, you even have to throw them into flips and catch them. Oftentimes the flyers even weigh more than the bases and the back spots, so extremely difficult to hold them above your head. You also have to make sure that the flyer returns to the ground safely. Your number 1 priority is making sure that the flyer does not get hurt. Not to mention, stunts are usually performed after you've done tumbling like that, or jumps, or a dance routine, so you're often already exhausted. So now I'm going to show you a video of a stunt routine to show you some of the effort that it takes. So watching that, you can tell that it takes a ton of skill to make sure that nobody gets hurt doing that. Injuries are very common in cheerleading, and if you don't practice and you don't have enough endurance, it can lead to very serious injuries. A girl in my grade was practicing a stunt and she got dropped. She shattered her elbow, had to have surgery immediately, was not able to compete in the national competition, and couldn't even move her elbow for months after it. So you can just imagine how terribly injured you could get in cheerleading. We don't also just do that, we also do conditioning, whether it's running, lifting weights, or doing exercises. You have to make sure you're in tip-top shape to be able to perform the routine completely. So the second half of the definition of sport is to entertain. cheerleaders' main purpose are to entertain or pump up a crowd. Not only do we have to get people excited, we have to get teenagers excited. If you've ever been around any teenagers, which I'm sure you have been, you know how emotionless they can be and how hard it can be to get them excited about anything. Not only that, we go to competitions where we have a 3-minute routine that has stunts, jumps, dance, and cheer all into one thing where we compete against different teams in our divisions. What makes this really hard is you have to look perfect and have a smile on your face the entire time, even if your stunt falls or you don't hit your tumbling or you miss a step. You have to know what count you're on, know what's coming next, and hop back in as if nothing ever happened. So, next time you see a cheerleader, I hope you acknowledge the time and effort that really goes into the thing that they're performing and acknowledge that it is in fact a sport.